So GMB Pros, welcome everyone to GMB Pros today. Those that are live, those that are on Facebook live. I appreciate everyone that's catching the replay as well. So today, and this is kind of like a new, I don't know if you want to call it series, but like I've been getting different questions. Let me make sure everything's good on Facebook. Go here, go here. I've been getting questions a lot about particular software, what you do. And there was a speaker on at a mastermind in Vegas that I've gone to, and he said something that was pretty clever, in my opinion, is taking a tool and finding a use for it that from its original intent. So that's kind of like what I want to do on today is kind of how to use this tool. What do these tools mean? And a tool, guys, is just that. It's a tool to help us accomplish our goal, right? It's a measuring stick. It's help us to get insight on what's going on with our marketing. So I want to do a series on a couple tools that I use that I have found success throughout the time and that I still use to this day in my agency. So one of those tools that I use is Local Dominator. Cohen is a great dude, wealth of knowledge. Just as a person, guys, I met him face to face out in the Philippines, in fact, and he sat down with me, gave me some business advice, just kind of like poured into me like gold nuggets, and I really appreciated that. He didn't really know me from Adam, right? No idea, who I was, but for whatever reason, we kind of drew to each other. We sat down and I don't even know. I started asking the question and he really poured some knowledge into me that's helped me to this day. So I'm not saying this to butter up, to Cohen. I'm just trying to speak on the character and the person of Cohen and who's behind Local Dominator. The dude is a great speaker. If you ever get to meet him or hear him, he brings the fire, he brings knowledge, he brings things that you can actually use and run with it. I think he's one of the better speakers, top speakers for sure, top 5, top 10. Um, Most definitely in the conference over at the Philippines. So his tool, you guys will see William will use it a lot in the readings of maps, right? Local Dominator, what is it? What does it do? What is it all about? It's a GMB or Google My Business kind of a map reader. So if you have a service-based business or any business that brings up a map pack, you can use his tool to measure where you're at when you're measuring, if you're top 3, if you're getting your butts kicked, and then why that may be. You can take a look at it. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. So I'm going to share my screen here really quick. Okay, let me do this. Let me take some of these distractions out. Okay, and I'm gonna have, here's the Local Dominator. Let me take some of these distractions out and this one out. So guys, this is Local Dominator once you're logged in, right? So it's really cool. And guys, if you're not on Cohen's actually mailing list, hop on that. Somehow hop on that because he sends out some excellent emails that you can use besides Local Dominator, even outside of Local Dominator. And I'm going to be showing some of those here in this example. So Local Dominator, this is it. It's a GMB keyword where you can track where you are at. So this is one prospect. This is somebody, a plumber that I just happened to be the last one that I was looking at. So we're just going to use this one. They're not my client. Nothing, to do. This is just a plumber that I happen to look at last. That's it here, guys, right? So we're gonna take a look at this particular plumber. I noticed they had a GMB on their site. So that's super important, guys, for those that have a service-based business. Take a look, make sure that you have your map embedded in your web page. That way you can start connecting the dots, connecting that puzzle of your marketing, um, letting Google know where you're at, that you're local, that you're relevant in a particular area. So this is their Google My Business. Excellent, 218 number of reviews, 4.8. Man, that's pretty darn good. That's from what it sounds like, it's a skip, hop, and a jump away from 5-star. They're replying to their reviews. That's excellent. Um, so the only thing I would probably, as far as when it comes to reviews that I would look at is try to include pictures, try to get the tech to take before and after pictures that they can send the client while they're at the job so they can, hey, can you mind using these pictures on the review? Hopefully we earned, a 5-star from you. And answering reviews is excellent. So if we sort this out by the newest, it was 2 days ago. They replied 5 days ago, a week ago. So they're getting maybe 1 or 2 reviews every 2 to 3 days, right? So this is their reviews here. So you can see the category right in here: plumber, contractor, HVAC contractor, septic system service. So I just wanted to point out some things that way, what to look for in your business. You can switch this out to you. It might sound very elementary, but guys, you'll be surprised how many people miss this. So if we just look up the brand, okay, hours of service may be different. So it looks like somehow they have closing soon, online service, like some type of 2 profiles on there. Let's take a look what pops up. A Yelp, MapQuest. So they have some citations, Better Business Bureau, their Facebook, Angie's List. So they've gone out there and publicized Alvarez Plumbing and Air Conditioning. For some reason, they're attached to them as a brand. So one of the things I would probably want to do more of is more like brand stuff, because not necessarily their knowledge panel pops up as you saw there, right? Let's take a look at some of this stuff here. They have some postings. They have some details. So it looks like they went ahead and filled out most of their profile, and looks like they're pretty active. Somebody is on actively managing their Google My Business, and you can tell by how often they post. It looks like they're posting almost daily, a couple times a day. So you can tell by the date when this was posted on there. So just kind of looking through that. Okay, so when you're at the Google My Business profile here, there is this plugin that Cohen actually put me here to company information in Google search map, and you'll be able to copy the CID URL. I think that'll bring up the most accurate information on where the company's at, where Google thinks the company's at when it comes down to your mapping. So when you get that, okay, when you copy the URL here, you can throw it onto you can put it right in here. That's the company. And then we're gonna go into plumber, and we'll do like 3 keywords, right? So let's see what else they do. What do they focus on? Plumbing, bathroom plumbing, broken pipe replacement, drain cleaning. So we'll go with something simple. They have for a lot of services. Okay, and it just goes on and on, right? Let's see. So let's take a look at emergency. I think that's a pretty good one to kind of track, right? Oops. So we'll do emergency plumber. Okay, let's see here. And let's pick another service. So just for real quick, just in case they don't have the greatest, so we'll do emergency, and we'll do one more plumber, emergency plumber. And let's look at this page real quick. And if we look at the details of it, emergency plumber, location, and then the brand, that's exactly how I like to do it. Need an emergency plumber, Taylor, South Carolina, contact Ethno Plumbing Service, da, 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 da. So I would prefer this a little bit longer. They have one H tag, which is excellent, 1,400 words, which is great. Okay, so they have a lot of things dialed in. It looks like this isn't all their footer of their pages. So that one's good. This one, which was emergency plumbing, okay, in Greensville. So here's the areas of opportunity that I see here. I would just make this, guys, the emergency plumbing page. I wouldn't necessarily tie it down to a location because they have several locations. So if we switch locations, emergency plumbing, okay, so they have a page for each, no, plumbing services, okay. Where's your emergency? Okay, so you're tying yourself down to this location. So if you spread out, and we'll figure this out right now. That's why I'm looking at this so you can guys kind of see how the GMB and the website kind of work together. So what I would have done here is more making this your emergency plumber page. And then for Greensville, like service area, Greensville, plumber in Greensville, I would just make this all about Greensville, South Carolina. I wouldn't do no water heater, no bath. All I do is this, it's all about Greensville. That's it. And then what I would do from that point is create like a little menu here to the side that points to all of my services. But the main thing about this page is going to be about Greensville. So we tell Google that I'm relative in this area. And then, okay, you have a menu of your services. So they put your services, your keywords with the area that you're trying to dominate. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, here is another tip that I can give you guys. This looks kind of like long, right? Like, man, you do all these cities. It is not necessary to make it front facing as well. You can put this on your sitemap. You can put this on your robot TXT. You know, don't make it front facing, but you can still build it. You can make it go live. Just don't make it front facing to clean up your page. Okay. And then, so now, this page or this URL will be mainly about plumbing, and then it'll have a little bit, I'm relative in this location when it comes to plumbing. But the bulk of this page the bulk of this, it should be about plumbing services. And don't tie yourself down to your area, because if as far as the like Duncan, for example, the bulk of this page should be about Duncan, South Carolina. And then you have a menu that points to your services, all these services here. It's a long list. So hopefully that makes sense. So all of these should be keyword driven. All of these should bring up hopefully a map pack. Okay. See, you're losing. I'm not even able to get to the bottom of all these. which is fine, but I think water heater installation is a great one that might be more on top. Definitely above toilet repair or toilet installation, right? Although these might be the keywords that you want to go after, you don't necessarily need to make them front facing for Google to pick those up for you. Okay, so let's do, what's this? Okay, water heater. Okay, so the way they have it on here is water heater. So, and when I mean by, does these words bring up a map pack? If you go to your browser, okay, nobody puts in a dash when they look for it. So water heater, right? That is a keyword that you're going after. But Google automatically associates that with YouTube videos, Home Depot, um, Lowe's, YouTube videos, some examples, right? So water heater wouldn't necessarily, I don't think, the greatest keyword to go after. But if I did water heater repair right here, and I looked this up, let's see, I think I'm at, there was another plumber I was looking up in Tampa. Okay, let me take those off. So it'll just do my local area, but you have your sponsored GMB Google guarantee ads up there, and then your regular Google My Business maps here. So this is a keyword that I would want to track because it brings up a map pack. And this is definitely a keyword that I would want to be in the Google guarantee section. So if we look at this section and see for this Tampa area, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 people in there. That's a lot. So it's going to rotate through those 20, and the one that scores the best will win at that. So guys, if you're in the Google guarantee, make sure you're picking up your phone, make sure you're answering, make sure if they're texting you, messaging, that you're messaging them back right away, because all that counts to your quality score, and that'll help you show up in the rotation a lot better. So with that said, so we take, this is what I mean by does the keyword bring up a map pack, right? So hopefully that made sense, because a lot of times I'll get even like marketing agencies or businesses wanting, hey, can you help me with my Google My Business? They give me the keyword, but that keyword doesn't even show up as a map pack, right? So I picked three. The CID link, I showed you guys where to get that, put it in there. Now, this is my kind of, I like to give you guys the most amount of data, which is a 13 by 13, right? In my formula or my recipe, I'll do 3, 6, and 9 mile radius. So on a 13 by 13, that's usually about a quarter mile, half a mile, and then I'll do about a mile, but I'll lower the radius to be a little bit lower. But I want to show the most amount of data, and we'll do the halfway point of um, half a mile. And I'm going to do the square just to kind of help read what does that really mean. So on a 13 by 13 is going to have 13 dots across, 13 dots down. With the miles between this dot and this dot, it's a half a mile. This dot and this dot's a half a mile. So if we take for every 4, right? No, for every 2, 1, no, how is that? Half a mile, half a mile. So we can actually lower that. Let's lower it. No, that's fine. We'll do a half a mile. So this is 1 mile, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 miles. That's about the halfway point. 3, 6, 9. And that's how you read that. It's the between one dot to the other is that space. So from here to here, it's a half a mile. So if I put 1 mile, now I'm saying for each dot is a mile. Oops, I changed that up. For each dot is a mile. Let me bring this back up. Okay. So here it's 1, 2, and it'll be 13 because it's 13 by 13 by 1 mile. So I usually go quarter mile, half a mile, and then I'll jump I'll do a mile, but I'll change my radius. So we're gonna go again, 13 by 13. And if you go with a circular radius, because Google does it by radius, we can do a little bit more. Okay, so we'll do a tad bit more, 13 by 13 to cover that approximately 6 mile radius. Okay, now this comes to play if you're doing a service area business where you can click on the dots and move your center point around. Okay, that'll really come to play if it's a service-based area. And I'll try to find one of those. That way, you can see how that works. So once we get that, we run it into a scan, right? It takes us to our history. Let's go into our scans. Okay. And it's processing. Okay, we'll give it a second. I think it's because we're on, there we go. So it's processing, gives us the business, and gives us the keywords that we went after. And you can see it's a 64 square mile radius on all of these. And the cool thing about the way Cohen has it is there's a shareable link. You can rerun the scan if you have it on if you're searching for the same keyword. There's also bulk scan. Okay, so I have you should be able to see it here in a minute. So I have like several clients where I'll do 3, 4, 5 keywords. So it'll be in there as one entry. That way we can do bulk scans. Let's see here. Do. Let's see, bulk action, bulk scan. I think it's lagging because we're on YouTube, but once that pops up, not YouTube, but we're on Zoom, I'm showing you live. We'll give it a second for it to catch up to itself. Yeah, there you go. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll hit refresh. Okay, we'll let that run for a second there so it can catch up to itself. So some of the ways that you can use this besides seeing where you rank, right? And all these are tools, right? Tools are tool. They're all going to be about the same difference as far as one tool might say you're a 2, the other one might say you're a 3. You know, you're always going to be within that range, but it's going to give you like your scale, right? My scale at home will weigh me at so much versus the doctor's scale versus my buddy's scale. But it's, use one tool that way you can have a measuring, a baseline that you can kind of differentiate where we're at, what movement we're seeing. That way we're not guessing. So with Google, guys, one of the things that you'll notice is, not everybody's nationwide. Not all the services are nationwide. Like this particular plumber, they have one location, South Carolina. They have a little bit over a half a dozen trucks that they're running, right? So they want to dominate the area. There's plenty of work, a lot of competitions, but they definitely want to dominate their local area, right? So, um, if they want to get more calls, you want to make you want to make sure that they're not guessing where you're at or what keyword that you're trying to go after. And you can do that, but with the content, you can do that with backlinks. You can do that with your keywords, your LSI entities that you plug into your website, right? Make sure all your dots and your T's are crossed, right? Everything that you have going on. Don't let Google guess on what you're trying to do. especially with the keywords, especially with like the location that you are trying to dominate. So in saying that, a lot of times when we read a map, right? When we read this map, you're going to notice that it's like maybe a little tiny area, or maybe it's all red, or maybe it's not all red, you're like 10, 15. All that you can get as data to get, what do you need to do? If we want to let Google know where we're at and what keyword that we're going after. So one of the things that I use these maps for is to let me know that. Is Google associating that keyword with me, right? Is Google associating this area with me? And with that being said, then I can make my adjustments on um, the profile and the website. Um, we hear Brett with Mindsaw, right? And he taught me this, taking your categories, and you can hear it on his YouTube channel as well, is take your categories from the GMB and place it on your website. That way you can connect the dots. Embed the GMB onto your website, again, to make that relationship with your website and the location. Taking your city page and doing a city page for that city without so much dominating like all your keywords and that city. Just focus on that city. You can have a menu linking to your services. Okay. Um, Having like proper schema, having the proper image optimization, having your H1s, your Google Search Console, get all that set up. Is it indexed? Is your site uh, XML pages, is it in there? Your robot TXT page in there. We heard, who was it yesterday that was speaking about Bing, right? Let me get, his name is escaping me right now. Let me get that for you guys. And I'm trying to buy some time on the readings real quick. Joseph, I think I would remember that Joseph was talking about Bing, and I think it's maybe a forgotten tool that people are not utilizing very well. So getting those basics down on what you need as far as the city relevant and the keyword relevance to your GMB. So let me take a look here, guys. Hopefully the readings are back. Okay, I think something is going on, but let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is what I can do here. Let me show you a different plumber, and it's still a great example. So here's another business that we were taking a look at here. So for emergency plumber, this ABC plumbing and air, tankless water heater, and plumber. These are the three keywords that we looked at. So once it's back, it'll be processing, but once it's back, it'll literally look like this, right? And then you can click on it. So this is what I mean. This is kind of a great example. So on here, you can see that it's a very small area. Again, you can see what I done here, 13 by 13. Let me look. This is 24. I might have even gone even smaller. Yeah, because these are 63. So I think I went 0.25 miles on this particular reading, which is for every 4, it's a mile, right? So it's about a 28-mile square radius. So on here, as you can see, they only rank in this particular area. Not very much, only 2 in the top 3 of the map pack. So this could be a perfect example of what I mean is, like, unless I'm in your parking lot, Google associates this keyword with you. But when it comes to this area, Google does not associate that. You don't have geo relevance, if that makes sense. So with this particular client, what I would suggest is that they create that service page. That way Google will see them as more relevant in that particular area. Now, here's a crazy thing, right? So that was in the Tampa area, or their website is kind of more geared in the Tampa area here. All right. But you can see that the GMB is in the Clearwater area. So there's really no surprise why they're not ranking tremendously well, or their map pack looks like this. Because if we zoom out, Tampa's over here, which is on their GMB, but their address and their GMB, see Clearwater, is over here. Like, this is not close at all. Not close at all. Right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, and we can look it up, but it's not close. But this is what I'm referring to, like how to read a particular map, and okay, how do I become more relevant for this keyword and then in my area? And that's where the SEO, that's where the GMB and the website help each other, or why you might be struggling in a particular area for a particular keyword. So let me give you another example. Boom, boom, boom. Let me go back in here. Okay, so emergency plumber, we did tankless water heater. So they're doing a little bit better overall. So we'll see that circle more filled out, not no like 20s like we saw in the other one. So for this one, they're a little bit better in the geo relevance for this area and for this particular keyword. So this one, they can have a little, need a little bit of love on here, but they're doing a lot better. So you would just need to polish that website a little bit more to be more clear where they're at and what keyword that they're going after. Now, here's another cool tool or thing you can even do with local Dominator, right? Let's say, hey, Alfred, I want to dominate this particular area where I'm 14. If you click on it, you can see, oh, my dog's running around crazy in here. You can see where they're at, who's beating them. Mid County, Joe Cool. Let's see, Joe Cool was mentioned in South Carolina too. Home team. So you can see like who's beating them. You can see the reviews. Okay. And they have 1,900 reviews on this particular one, and they're still not number one. They have 130, 343, and 44. So you can kind of see how many reviews they have, like from a wide lens. And then you can go in there and let's take a look at the number one guy here, right? You can see what they're doing different as far as on their GMB profile. You can take a look at the website and do some more comparing. Okay, services. Now these guys are dominating in that area, and they don't have like a lot of this craziness where like all these services, service areas, and try to match the keyword to that service area. So let's see here. Let me show you. Let me go back in here. So that's another great tool that you can use, kind of compare notes. You can run different keywords with them as well, which I love, because you want to make your reporting back to the client black and white, and what you're doing is working. So hopefully that makes sense. And you can see the keyword here. But more importantly, guys, what I wanted to show you is how to read these. It's not just about the numbers. It's not just about, okay, um, am I ranking or not? Yes, it's about that, but read a little bit deeper to know, okay, what do I need to do? It's not just about CTR. It's about plugging the website with the actual GMB. So what is going on with these guys? Let's see. Let me log out real quick and log back in and see if I can get those to trigger over for us. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. What was that? Local Dominator. Okay, I'm logging in right now, guys. Let me see. Scans. There we go. Yeah, it was just probably a little glitch or something. Let me come back in here and you can see where they're at. So on their water heater repair, they're 6. On plumber, they are 17. With emergency plumber, they're plus 20. So what is that looks like? Let me go in here. So you can see, and you can also tell like where the center point or where the business is, it's right up in here. It, let's see. Yep, there it is right there. That's kind of like the center point. You can tell by the ones that are around there as well. So it doesn't surprise me as far as the reading, so we can adjust this. But if we really look at it as well too, it looks like there's hills up here. So this is kind of the area that you would go after. Again, this is for water heater. So they're not doing horribly, but what we want is to be more spread out in these particular areas. So maybe getting some reviews that mention these particular areas. Or again, I had looked at like the reviews and taking pictures because it will do a geotag, the location on those in these particular areas, right? um some other strategies on the website itself, not to dilute the site, right? Where are you at? No, over here. Not to dilute the site because you already have this long list, right? But maybe taking some of those cities and just plugging them in there. I would love to do like a test with these people, is maybe creating that city page, put it in the sitemap, getting it indexed, throwing some backlinks into it, getting a good schema, optimizing it with some pictures. Um, you know, if you guys utilize like Citation Vault and you guys are familiar with that, those guys do an awesome job of beefing up your citations as well with some of these features that I'm talking about that you can create right in here. But guys, this, you know, we don't have to dilute it or make it, we could always put it in the background to help, spread the perimeter of this particular profile. So let's look at another keyword real quick. That was let's see, plumber. So on here, and this is the center point, but look at, man, they really need help for one of their basic keywords. Yeah, there's a lot of competition, granted, but there's no reason why we should be able to spread our wings in this. It's only like 6.5 miles, right? So it could be that also Google, so let's take a look at this. Another thing that we can look at, if we click on that, let me see, actually, who's number one here? Here. So they're number one in this particular area. Number two. Okay. So if we look at the maps, you see how Google kind of they're boxing them in. Okay, let me look at here. Ah, no, but this one's open. So here, you see how they spread their wings out here? They're not like boxed in. So that means Google is not telling me. Another way you can look at this is Google doesn't know, like for that particular keyword, for my business, for that niche, for that category, they're opening it up. If they can break this proximity, we can break this proximity. Because where was it? I think there was a Seattle location. I don't think it was plumber. I think it was another niche. But no matter which business we plugged in, it boxed us in into that particular area. So this is another way you can use this tool is Google like boxing people in because it knows the niche and knows the area in this particular and not letting you spread your wings. Here you can see if other people can break proximity, you can break proximity as well. So that's another way, that's another leverage that I wanted to show you, that you can look at these tools and be able to help. What are the next steps to help you rank? So let's take a look at this last keyword. This is the worst one out of all of them. Not even in their parking lot are they ranking for emergency plumber. I think this is a huge keyword that you should be able to optimize on your website for emergency. Where to go? Emergency plumbing, right? What keyword was it? Emergency plumber, emergency plumbing. It's almost the same difference. And again, let's see. Greensville is like the area that they're focusing on um this particular area, but there's no need to box yourself into that particular area. What you can do is, again, just do the emergency plumbing as a service page, all the NLP, LSI, entity keywords, your H1s, your optimized images on here, right? Get all that dialed in that way, and then do your Greensville page. So the page is all about plumbing, and then there's a section on Greensville or all of your other locations, and just have a menu on each one of those pages pointing to it, and that will get this even popping even greater. Okay, guys. And then again, we can kind of see in there who's number one, clicking on it, going back to the map. This is what their map should look like. There's no reason why GS Plumbing, what are they doing different that we're not? Is it your entities? Is it backlinks? Is it content wise? Right? If we look at their page, and let's compare apples to apples, high pressure, See, they don't have that many services, but that emergency plumbing is in there. And I'll show you like their service areas in there. So I'll show you a little trick here. If you go to sitemap.xml, remember I told you how we can put this stuff in the back end of it, and then there's their sitemap, there's their pages, and these are all the pages that they have. Boom, 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 boom. So they're doing a lot of good stuff in here because that emergency plumbing, was that the keyword? Yeah, emergency plumber, they're dominating nicely. They're not the best, but they're beating the first client that we saw, right? And they have some nice clean pages, but they have a lot of basic pages too. So they're doing other things that we could diagnose. But if you have a client or if you have a competitor, you can do this exact thing that you saw me do and see, they have this page or that page. They're just not front facing. This is what I mean. It's in there, it's in the back. It's not polluting or making the user experience of a website bad, but it's in there. And that's what you can do, like when we see some of this, it's like, man, what can we do to improve this keyword for this particular area. So Google ties both of them in and gives me the juice and the higher ranking. And this is kind of what I wanted to show you with local dominator. It's not just about ranking. It's not just about, okay, it's looking at it, okay, I'm not ranking, why? Oh, either I'm not geo-relevant or I'm not keyword relevant. Okay, what do I need to do with my website with that? Like Mindsaw has taught us, hey, your categories, are they on your web page? The map embedment, and they on your web page. Are the city pages, are they on your web page? If you want to know more about location pages, William has a lot of stuff on his YouTube channel, and we'll get a little bit more into that. Mindsaw has a lot of great stuff on his YouTube channel that you guys can take a look at and how those are built. Get on their call, tell them I sent you over there. Okay. But how to do those location pages and not crazy. You don't need to do for each keyword. Like we don't need to do a location page for all of these keywords. That's a lot of pages. We don't need to do that. We can just do one for each of the map popping keywords or your main services, and then look up the city on there, and then that will make the connection together. And very simple. We don't need to take like a service page for each and every one of these in those particular areas. So guys, hopefully this was a value, giving you a little insight on how to use the tools, how to read the tools, what are the next steps on the tools. Hopefully that was useful. Reina SEO says, I'm hoping you're saying you need the GMB or the tool on there. If you guys hop on onto the tool, Cohen gives you a 14-day free trial on there. Here, I think there might be an affiliate link. Let me take a look. I'll throw it on here for you guys if you want to try it on there. There's a white label part of this as well. Let's see here. Where is it? So I can get this guys to you. Affiliate link. Where are you? It doesn't matter, guys. If you want to just let them know, hey, Alfred had a thing on your platform. Let me try to find that. Any questions? I see you here, Nick. How you doing, man? Richard, how you doing? Any questions so far?
Man, I had some customers in here a minute ago and I got rid of them and I just hopped on, so I only caught the end of it. So I need a replay somehow, some way.
Yeah, I have the replay on here, and I was just kind of showing the heat map, how to use it, how to look past the readings and how to translate those readings to what does that mean to your website. And then I gave some examples of how to add maybe a service page without polluting your page. Like on your sitemap, you can throw it on there. Google still reads it. It's still registered. If you look for it or know where to look, you'll see it. And I showed you guys, I gave some examples. It's the domain site slash sitemap.xml. Go to pages, and then you guys will see all the different pages that your competitor has that you might not. And that's just like the baseline, right? You want to cover like your schema, you can take a look at. Make sure when it comes to keywords, my three pillars, LSI, NLP, right? Entities and the variations of your keyword. And then having a tight structure, a tight technical, like 1H1, and then spread the rest out. Bing, Joseph talked about Bing, getting that dialed in, because Bing is very technical. If you mess up on some of your stuff on Bing, they'll tell you, if you don't care, we don't care, we're not going to index you. So if you fix that, then you'll get Bing's attention, which will get Google's attention, because Google doesn't want Bing to beat them. And you'll get some
Exactly.
love. You'll get some love. But yeah, sitemaps are, like local dominator. It's not just about how to, what is your readings, what is not your readings. Um, it's okay. I'm not ranking. What do I need to do?
and then she got divorced. She made a divorce.
Richard, any questions on your side, brother?
I don't know. So one thing you were talking about, like the service pages, so you wouldn't really necessarily, like build out. You'd build out like you have like the emergency plumber, and then you would build kind of like what William showed in some of the past training, where you would build out like that service page, and then you go and put the header like plumber in Greenville, South Carolina, or plumber in there, and then you'd put in like your geolocation stuff, like the things to do and the neighborhoods and the zip codes and stuff, to help spread that out out further into the circle mile wise. Am I understanding that correctly? Or
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Does that stuff work? Does it still work? Yeah, but it's a lot of work. Like the perfect example is like the first page that I showed you with ethical plumbing. They had a lot of services. I mean, that list goes on. Like I lose it. I go so far down that I lose them. So um you can take, so I mean, do you want to create a city page or for each and every one of them? That's a lot. So what you can do is just focus on the one page, because Google, when they read your page, is it going to be more of like, what is your page about? Right? Is it more about plumbing or more about this other city? And then sometimes people will confuse like Nick, you're still doing diamonds, right?
Right.
Right. So guys, for those that are catching the replays, if you want awesome diamond engagement ring, Nick is your man. Nick is your man here. But let's say like diamonds, right? Well, let me find something a little bit. Okay, yeah, we'll take diamonds. So if I did what's a good keyword for diamonds, Nick?
Engagement rings Houston is a great keyword. I mean, we're in Houston, so engagement rings Houston is a big one.
Okay, so let's say me, for example, I'm in California. So if I hit engagement ring, right? It's gonna give me results in my area. But let's say my fiance is in Houston and I want to find a spot in Houston. So if I put in, and I don't change anything now, it's engagement ring Houston. Now, is engagement Houston a keyword, or is the Houston more of a modifier? Does that make sense?
If you Google just engagement rings, the map pack doesn't come up.
Right. But if you
But
do
if you
engagement,
engagement rings Houston, the map pack comes up.
okay. So that's kind of like the perfect example that we gave earlier. What was it? Water heater. If we do water heater, no map pack comes up, right? Home Depot,
Right.
Lowe's, YouTube. But if you do water heater repair, then a map pack pops up. So we just have to be careful for that geolocation, that it's, whether it be a keyword or is it a keyword modifier? And there's a difference on there. So I don't want to let Google, no, I don't want to let Google guess. And I can see that on the heat map. Okay, what do I need to do? What are my steps? What do I need to modify on my website? Engagement ring. So if I'm in Houston and I type in engagement ring, I want to bring up Nick's website. Nick wants to dominate Texas, period, but especially Houston. He just needs to make sure that when it comes to Houston, he's the man. And then all the keywords, engagement ring, pink diamond, 1-2 carat, right? All the keywords that have to do with diamonds and diamond rings. Does that make sense? And
Okay.
he knows what he's doing, right? We've talked before, I helped him out before. So he's no, like, he's no chump
Rookie.
at it,
Yeah.
yeah, he's no rookie. Yeah, no rookie. So yeah, guys, hopefully we're at the 60-minute mark, guys. So hopefully this was of value to you guys. Now, Richard, hopefully I answered your question. Like, does what like William used to teach before, does it work? Yes, absolutely. It still works. I just think there's more work to it. And there's
Right.
just a method.
There's a
especially-
simpler, more effective way of achieving the same results, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because you see it even now, like we seen it on the website, ethical website. That's what they're trying to do. Because it works, yeah, but I think there's more effective ways because I don't want Google to be confused or guess or like I think no. Boom, these are my keywords. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, and then this is my location. Bang, bang, bang. Here's my menu to my services, so it kind of ties in the both together. Now, granted, this all goes down to what, like you guys already know, my best practices is, you know, your and Joseph talked about it, right? You know, is your all 9 versions of your website indexable? Do you have your Google Search Console set up? 1H1? Do you have enough content? Variations of the keyword, entities, right? You have the schema, you have your image optimized to the fullest. Are you even being indexed? You know, are your pages even being able to index? And then doing the Bing, because I was, you know, I was taught and 100% true, Bing is more technical. If you don't care about your technical stuff on your website, Bing won't either. They'll give you the finger. You go fix them, and it'll all fall into play. And if you
Yeah.
get attention, you'll get Google's attention, and things will fall into play. So,
Okay.
yeah. With that being said, I don't see any on the live, any questions on the live. Guys, I appreciate you, Nick. I appreciate you like always. Big shout out to Nick again. If you're in Houston and need diamonds, Nick is the man. Nick is really like real cool dude, down to earth, knows what he's doing. So with that being said, guys, much love, much success, and I'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.